Welcome to another Dark Nook video. In this video, I'm corpsing a plastic skull. I know I did one of these before, but that was one of my first videos and the quality wasn't very good, so I wanted to revisit it. And I start out with a basic plastic skull that I got for a few dollars at the grocery store. I antique it with brown paint. That means I glob a lot of wet paint on it and then wipe off the excess with a wet paper towel. This leaves the paint only in the low points and it dries looking old and dirty. Once that's dry, we start the corpsing technique. If you enjoy my videos, be sure to drop a comment, hit that like button, also subscribe and be sure to hit the bell so you get notifications of new videos. First, I cover the skull with some spray adhesive. This step isn't necessary, but it does make it a lot easier. I use this plastic sheeting, and the spray adhesive helps stick it to the skull. Now I use the plastic to define where there would be tendons or muscles in the face. I shape out the brows and other features I want to highlight. Then I melt these with the heat gun. As always, be careful when using a heat gun. Keep it moving. We're not trying to start a fire, we just want to melt the plastic a little bit. Also, only do this in a well-ventilated area. You don't want to be breathing in these fumes. Now once this first layer is done, I'll wrap the skull in more plastic. This is going to have the effect of looking more like the outer layer of skin. Now I want the mouth to be open, so I'll cut a hole where the mouth is and pull the plastic back away from the teeth. That way when I hit it with the heat gun, it'll peel away and look really cool. Now I hit the skull with the heat gun again. This time, I'm allowing holes to melt in the plastic over the eyes and nose and cheeks. This gives a look of a rotten skin that's shrunk and pulled away from the bone. Once that's done, it's on to paint. I start with a base coat of a simple tan color. I dab away the excess. Also, make sure not to get any on the teeth. The lighter tan base will help the dark colors I'll paint on top of it look more organic. Once this is dry, I'll do a wash of dark brown. This will run down into the low points and get caught in the little wrinkles. And to add some extra texture, I'll dab it with a sponge. This causes the color from the wash to settle in blotches on the surface of the piece rather than running in drips. It creates a more organic look and a look that's better for creating the illusion of rot with layers of color and texture. When that's dry, I'll sponge on a little rusty brown color. This is to add to the effect of dried up blood or old rotten muscle tissue. The sponge and stippling helps create more of that mottled blotchy effect, which is more organic. When that's dry, I'll go over the high points with a dry brush. Now a dry brush is when you take just a little bit of paint, get it on a dry brush, and just hit the tips of the highest points on the piece, creating the look of mummified skin that started to dry out and flake off. Once that's dry, another wash, this time black. And instead of using the sponge, I spritz the skull with a little bit of water. That makes the color run into all the low points and wrinkles. Also, I make sure to get this wash all over the teeth. I don't want the teeth to look clean, I just don't want them to have any of the paint that's associated with the muscle tissue or the skin, because that wouldn't look right. But this is just to age the piece and make it look old and musty, so I want to get that on the teeth, although I will wipe off a little of the excess. Once it's dry, I'll do one last dry brush with a light gray color to really highlight those high points and make the piece pop. And you can see what it looks like here now that it's all finished. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and do all the YouTubey things that YouTubers do, and thanks for checking out my channel.